Hello, welcome to Yellow Crypto, where we give you the latest news on stuff in the blockchain market, cryptocurrency, NFTs, all that good stuff. So, higher tariffs, right? Something that Trump has been talking about since he took office. Even before that, he says he wants to bring people to the negotiating table. Higher tariffs, how will they affect cryptocurrency? I'm your host, Daniel Scott Jacobs. Let's get started. So, the main reason Trump wants to implement tariffs is his thing is common sense, right? That's what he says. He says we're gonna rule the country based on common sense. Now, if you think about it, so one of his main arguments is that fentanyl, human trafficking, coming into the country through Canada, mostly through Mexico. So he wants to implement big tariffs on Canada and Mexico, one on China, 10% on China. The reason for China is because he wants them to implement the death penalty on people convicted of exporting fentanyl to the United States. So those are his arguments. We'll see how it plays out. Let's get started here. So tariffs to impose going to effect today on Saturday, February 1st, 2025. 25% on Canada, 25% on Mexico, 10% on China. Now, these seem pretty drastic, just to rip right off the bat, and they are, okay? But I think this is how he should do it. A lot of news reporters and other politicians have recommended, why don't you start with 2.5% and ease your way up? Because he wants to cut to the chase, right? He wants to level the playing field. He doesn't want to waste time, all right? So how are these going to impact cryptocurrency? Right? There's a variety of reasons. I don't think any tariffs are going to necessarily like move the market. It's like, have you seen any crazy market moves? They go into effect today? No. I don't know if the first shipment has come in since 12 o'clock this morning. But this is something that you would see a trickle down effect where it would affect the market a little later on. So increased demand for hedging against fiat cryptocurrency instability. So higher tariffs can lead to inflation or currency devaluation in some countries, especially if import prices rise significantly. This could drive more people to use cryptocurrencies as a hedge against weakening fiat currencies. So higher tariffs mean higher prices for companies buying those products, for manufacturers using those products, and for anybody who's buying those products. So higher prices on goods is literally inflation. Right? So his plan, so Trump is trying to kind of follow, Trump is trying to replicate former 1890s President William McKinley. He was known as the tariff sheriff. So he won the Spanish-American War. Just to kind of put it into context, this is 135 years ago. So McKinley served from 1897 to 1901, and he did great things for the economy at that time. However, there was an open border policy, right? So you think about it, you have all these people coming in who are willing to work. Okay, that's gonna bring up GDP. So, like if you were to read like CNN's quote on this, they say that he's incorrectly stating what he's doing is gonna resemble former President McKinley's policies, but it's one of those things we're gonna have to wait and see. Boost in cross-border crypto transactions. So this is something that is definitely going to happen. So if tariffs make traditional international trade more expensive or complicated, businesses and individuals might turn to cryptocurrencies for cross-border transactions, bypassing conventional banking systems. Tariffs may cause companies and manufacturers of imported goods to look elsewhere for products and directly need or perhaps want to use other payment systems like crypto. So if you think about it, this is a kind of a direct basic example, but if let's say they're trying to bypass tariffs, so they buy from someone who's maybe importing things on the low, or maybe they don't want their payments to get tracked, they would move to cryptocurrency to do that. And in turn, this might bring more regulation, which is the next slide. But I don't think that's actually going to happen, and with the public ledger, they can see everything anyway. So I don't see this moving the market a lot, but this is something that would definitely happen. Regulatory response. So governments implementing higher tariffs might also increase scrutiny of cryptocurrency transactions, particularly if they suspect people are using crypto to evade tariffs or capital controls. So unlikely to happen, in my opinion. So what I'm saying is I think people will try to use cryptocurrency to try to inadvertently avoid paying tariffs, or at least um, hide where their money's going. Especially maybe if they're using a different manufacturer, they've got a strategic partnership with that manufacturer. They might try to go elsewhere and not want it so well known. If they're using a third-party money transfer system. But I think regulation based on this is unlikely to happen, in my opinion. For the main reason, Trump is pro-crypto. If you had a strong Democrat in there, someone who is trying to suppress cryptocurrency, then I would think that they would sweep this into a crypto regulation bill or an executive order and try to suppress cryptocurrency even more than they already are, just based on this fact, which I think is nonsense. Impact on mining equipment. So this is something I hadn't really thought of until I did a little research. So if tariffs are imposed on hardware like GPUs and ASIC miners used for mining cryptocurrency, the cost of mining could rise, potentially making it less profitable and affecting supply chain dynamics of certain cryptocurrencies. So that's the information I found. But what I thought is there will ultimately be less miners if equipment costs more, right? So if the price of equipment is more and you're mining cryptocurrency, yes, you're going to make less money. Not right away, because if you have mining equipment, it's not going to be phased out for 4 or 5 years if you've got something decent. But in that time span, when that does happen, there will ultimately be less miners potentially, right, if equipment costs more. But, I mean, if you think about it in this grand scheme of things, if you've been mining, right, and it's been successful for 5 years, paying another 25% on your mining equipment, is that going to put you out of business? Probably not. So I don't see a ton of like people stopping mining or there being a ton of less miners. It may discourage people from entering the market, so that may help. But I would think that these two things would equal each other out. The last one, economic uncertainty drives crypto interest. So this is something that I already felt. As soon as they said tariffs, I was thinking, wow, more people are going to go crypto. Higher tariffs can contribute to economic uncertainty or trade wars, which might increase interest in decentralized and borderless assets like Bitcoin. Tariffs get people nervous. Okay? If you're buying, especially for a company like, I won't use a company as an example, but let's say, you have to buy, this is a stupid example, you have to buy new computers, right? You know that a lot of chips are coming from China. Most of them come from Taiwan. A specific company has almost a monopoly on the market, basically. That's where Apple and NVIDIA get their chips. They both have strategic partnerships, which makes everybody... They're buying so many chips that other companies are like, there's a shortage, and we're over here like, no, there's not. But basically, if you know things are going to cost more, and it's going to kind of unstabilize the fiat country in your country, you might want to turn to crypto, right? So this just brings a lot of economic uncertainty, which is good for crypto, right? I mean, because crypto, we're decentralized, we're borderless, so those are both good things. And that is what I have for you, and those are the reasons that I think tariffs are going to either help or hurt cryptocurrency. Ultimately, I don't think much is going to come from it. But again, it's hard to tell, especially Jay Powell said this in the Fed. He goes, there's a lot of economic orders, executive orders, and we don't know how that's going to impact the economy, which in turn will impact fiscal policy. So this is something we're going to have to wait and see. But if you made this far, I appreciate you watching. If you could subscribe for me, that would be great. We'll have more videos coming out. Or hit the like button. That would be great. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.